Ahsoka. Hey, guys. Ahsoka. Ahsoka, sweetie.
Oh, shit.
You better go hide, bad girl. Get in there, bad girl.
Bad kitties.
Said the fuck you kitties.
Said the fuck you kitties.
That's them now. That's their name. The fuck you kitties. I think after that, it's a good time to start. After they really what's it called? They let us in there with a fight. They were like, it's time to throw hands.
When I knock people out, they don't fucking move. Who the fuck is that guy? Oh, don't be scared, homie.
Welcome to Throwing Hands.
You're playing touch butt with that dork in the park, the ponytail.
My balls are hot.
Fucking idiots.
Fucking idiots.
Welcome, everybody, to the end of the year episode for Throwing Hands podcast. The boys are back for the end of the year. And I am your host, Joe. My best friends with me, as always, our co-host, as always, Ian and Darnell.
Rude. How rude.
Bro, some guy at the store the other day, he asked me to put something on hold for him. He goes, you could just put it under Nixon. I swear to God, and I'm so glad he thought it was funny. He goes, you could just put it under Nixon. And I go, Nixon? And he was like, Nixon. And I was like, nice. Hell yeah, you got
This one, right?
How am I spelling it? Like this? Nixon? And he's like, yeah, just like that.
Perfect.
Hell yeah. Today is December 29th. Hope you guys all had a great Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy, at my store, they have all the holidays are celebrated from like the end of the year. I didn't pay attention to the single one, any of the dates, not a single one.
None of them?
Nope. Realized I don't care. I was like, oh, don't care.
They're like, I only like Christmas.
Yep.
And I will
you
fight
should
you
like the
about
other
it.
holidays. For why?
For why?
No, thank you. Merry Christmas.
And a happy new year.
You filthy animals.
You filthy animals.
As you guys know, recently on this podcast, we have rebranded, if you would, where we don't just talk about UFC. We don't just talk about just MMA. We also talk about video games and whatever the fuck we want to talk about, but mostly in that realm of fighting and video games. So this episode will bring you what we thought of the best in MMA this year, the best in UFC this year, the worst of UFC this year, and then the same for games, best and worst, and just kind of talk a little bit on that. And as of course, to wish you guys a happy new year, but we'll get to that later. So,
I'm sorry, were you talking? No, I'm playing.
Darnell's like, my New Year's resolution is to be more of a smartass at all times. Were you saying something, nerd?
Did you say something, bro?
Nerd.
Is that fucking blackface?
What's that?
I was watching Smiling Friends yesterday.
Oh, right.
Okay, yeah.
What? No, I'm an actual demon.
I mean, international. No, fuck that.
That's
He
not
beat
cool,
his
bro.
ass, bro.
Oh shit. Heavily documented on this podcast is what we call the worst timeline in UFC history. We have been and still kind of are. We're on an upswing right now, but we are still on the path of the worst timeline in UFC history. So it's been a rough year to say you like anything at all, but there has been gems as always. There has been great things to remember. Yeah, it's both. It's yeah. When I was growing up in school, the teachers, when they passed me off, they would say, "Hey, keep this one. He's a real gem," and it just kind of stuck. So, with that, I think that it's going to be extremely easy for us to point out what we did not like and what we would want better in UFC for the upcoming year. But let's start with what we did like. Let's pick fight of the year.
None of them. I hated them all.
Damn. I think Darnell's going to have the same answer.
Nah.
Who you got?
Two of my favorite fighters, even though one of them died.
Okay.
Fucking Peloton and Khalil Roundtree.
Oh. I mean, but he went out like a warrior. You know, he went out like a true warrior.
Yeah. Lasted longer than everybody except for Izzy.
Right.
Everybody else dies in like the first or second round.
Mm. Great fight. Great fight of the year.
Oh, and
choice.
Jan fought him to a full 3 rounds.
And then got a haircut. Well,
The bro was being a dad all year. Is that fighting? No, I got a family. Let me hang out with them for a little bit.
It's a great pick. Khalil Roundtree, great stand. I mean, it was funny like seeing him at the beginning of the year going like, it's safe to say for any fighter at the beginning of the year when you see them have a good fight, like this guy could be in championship contention. Khalil looked good all year. Every single one of his fights, crushing it, leading up to what was inevitable to be the title fight with him and Poatan, which was so hyped because everybody was like, finally, a motherfucker. Well, actually, I shouldn't even say that. Everybody who's gone against Alex has just struck with him. Nobody wants to take him down.
No, the only person who did was Jan. Jan was like, get the fuck over here. I ain't playing this bullshit.
It's the smartest thing you could do, but hey, I mean, Jan still lost too, so it's like, fuck. What works on this man?
Nothing.
I
apparently.
feel like the only thing that could work on Poatan is if you put like an extremely hot woman at like the like cage side to distract him. She's like she's doing like cartoonish stuff to get whistling at him, and Poatan just keeps getting distracted. That might be it.
Oh,
No, the one person, that kid that has a high possibility of winning, but maybe not, is Ankalaev. And he straight up said, I ain't fighting that nigga. He's like, he's not next. And it's just like, yeah, this is what you get for being ass and just boring.
Yep,
And you just cry too much.
for sure. Ed, who you got? What's Ian's fight of the year?
probably the Izzy Sean Strickland fight.
The Izzy Sean Strickland fight.
Who
Was
would've
that
guessed?
early in the year? Or was that,
This
or
September?
was
It
that
was-
last year?
Yeah,
I thought that was this year.
I thought.
No.
I think
I
it
think
was.
that was
I think it was
last
last year.
Why do I do this every year? I could have sworn it was this year.
No, he fought Drakus this year.
Yeah.
Izzy
Got
did.
fucked on.
Damn. Yeah. Fuck me.
While you continue to look, I can give you mine, which is, you know,
I don't want
to. You can do this. I believe in you. You know, I've seen a lot of people talk about like, oh, I guess it's cliche to say, but or it's an easy pick, but I mean, dude, the Max Holloway fucking goddamn. Why is his name escaping me? Probably because I always forget how to say his last name too.
Justin Gaethje or
Justin
Ilya Topuria?
Gagey. The most incredible knockout of all time. The biggest fight of the year. Incredible for the BMF belt. And everybody's like, that's an obvious pick. When everybody's like, I'm like, yeah, but it was the most incredible moment. It was the best moment. 10 seconds left. Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje. They said, fuck it, let's go. Justin Gaethje died for us. Justin Gaethje died for our entertainment. Max Holloway probably broke his hand right there for our entertainment. So for anybody saying like, oh, well, you know, I guess I could pick a different fight and more one that's got, you know, more heat behind it or something that the fans would think about. Nah, that's the fight of the year. The BMF belt.
The fans thing, bro. Just pick what you like. That's it. Fuck the people. They're weird.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. John Jones, Stipe Miocic.
There
John
you go.
Jones finally fought and Stipe retired.
There you go. That's a good pick. I like that pick. Yeah, I would say that's my second favorite because we needed John Jones. We talked about it heavily. John Jones was the only guy to save us, and he showed up. He did that for us.
Took him long enough.
As he said to Ngannou, I had to get big enough to beat your ass. Which I like that insinuates that he's like, before you would have crushed me. But after now
Yeah,
that I'm
really
big,
would've.
Like
yeah.
twice
He
his
would've-
size. Big.
Fucked him up.
Dude, he for real, for like the joke they make about boxing, like in like, you know, like comics will make about boxing, like, I'm gonna fuck you up in 9 to 12 months with some heavy training. I'm gonna get a lot of reps in. I'm gonna watch some tape on you too. I think that's a Hannibal Buress joke, and it's like that's exactly what John Jones did to Ngannou, but never fought him. Like, I will fight you years from now after I've done a lot of weight, and I'm really gonna put it on. I'm gonna fight my wife a couple times, And when I get to you, you won't see it coming, and it just never happened.
Well, I mean, why am I just blank on his fucking name?
Ngannou.
Yes. If he hadn't left, if he hadn't basically thrown a fit about the money, he would have been there and they would have gotten that fight, and then all of that would have been put to rest.
It's true.
I honestly don't think they would have fought anyway, even if he stayed.
Really?
They won't even give John the money he's asking to fight fucking Aspinall. Fighting Ngannou, and both of them do want money, they would have been like, nigga, no.
Yeah.
Y'all can probably leave, go do this in another event, and drain somebody else's bank account, but not ours. The fuck y'all doing?
Hype, I think it would have brought in a lot more money than they would have had to pay them, you know?
It definitely would have made a ton of money.
They would have made money, but not enough to cover both of them. And the other fighters on the card, they would have had a one-fight event. That's how bad that drainage would have been.
Well, how much is John asking for? How to fight Aspinall?
I think they said like 20 mil or some shit.
That's crazy. That is
and
a lot
Dana,
of money.
Of course, is just like, yeah, we offered him the money. He still wouldn't take the fight. It's like, okay, who the fuck's lying then, bro?
Yeah, there's no
we
way.
know you're a liar. Like,
That's
I already
true.
don't trust what you say because you still talking shit about Ngannou. Nigga been gone for 3 years.
That's true.
Shut the fuck up about him. Even if he gets brought up, just to be like, he's not here anymore. That's it.
He'll talk shit about Mighty
Yo.
Mouse still, which is crazy.
Fuck Dana.
Dana is.
Fuck Dana's bald ass head.
I hope.
No offense to you, Ian. I realized what I said, so
He's like, I
still
didn't.
gonna apologize.
Yeah.
I just hope that, I feel like Dana's gonna be around for a lot longer. He's gonna be around for a long time. He's already been around for a long time. He's gonna be around for a longer time. But I wonder and hope that like whoever takes over after him, that we can get like a Vince to Triple H situation where it's just like, man, this new owner is the tits, man. He's giving us the fights we want. He's paying the fighters more, etc. And he's not lying to us. That'd be great.
No one's ever gonna do that.
I guess
Not in that where you can't actually predict the ending to the fights, where everything's not orchestrated bullshit. And on top of that, Dana's probably never gonna stop being whatever the fuck he is to the UFC. He's gonna be there till he's dead.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna like legitimately have to die, and then somehow in his contract, then I'm like, my wife's taking over. What?
And doesn't he
What
also
the
like
fuck?
not really make the fights? Like,
Yeah, no, he has a
Set all
kind of
that
a
up.
say. Yeah, he kind of has a say in it, but it's Hunter Campbell, and I forgot the other dude's name.
Yeah.
They're the actual matchmakers.
In the
And Dana's
war room.
kind of he's the president. Like he's like, okay, yeah, we can do that.
yeah.
He just sees over the shit, make sure it makes sense. And then he's just like, all right, cool, whatever. I just get to talk about this for the next however months.
Now he's like, oh, cool. What is that? Would you guys say some Dagestani guy and a Russian guy? Fuck yeah, let's do it. Who else? What other Dagestanis and Russians you guys got? Yeah, fucking let's do it. That's what he does up there. That's all he does in the office. Fucking piece of shit. Listen, if we're not talking John Jones, Conor McGregor, or fucking any of the Dagestani dudes, I don't want to fucking talk about it. That's Dana. Fucking piece of shit. Can't stand him.
I think
Love you, Daddy Dana.
No, you don't. He doesn't mean that, Dana. He doesn't even fucking mean that. Dana White. All right, I got one.
He's like, yeah. I think you're doing just great.
You know you don't. You don't. He does not mean that. You don't mean that. Dana, he doesn't. Dana, he couldn't even remember a single fight you put on this year. Don't listen to this guy.
Orb, the spear, all that stuff. You're doing great.
And he's
Man,
like,
look at him go.
he's like, dude, the spear, dude. Come on.
Fucking spear. Come on. He knows what he's doing.
Dana, he hasn't started drinking yet. Wait till he gets a couple drinks and then he'll be like, yeah, fuck that Dana White guy and his bald ass head.
Nuh-uh.
Goes to get a beer. He comes back. Fuck you, you piece of shit, Dana. All right. What was the worst part about the UFC this year to you guys?
Ilio Taporia as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And it's even funnier now because it's, hey, you modeled your entire act after one person. Now he's quote unquote convicted rapist, and now you want nothing to do with him. And it's like, it's too late, dog. You already literally, you can cover up the tattoos. You can do that? I don't think so. You took everything from him, bro. Like, you're trash. And now you get the belt. You win twice, and now you're like, oh, there's no more fights at 145. I think I'm gonna go to 155. I'm gonna fight Charles Oliveira. It's like, bro, make up your mind. What are we doing? Damn.
Just like,
you're just talking.
He's just so unlikable. There's so many guys in the UFC right now, especially at the championship level, that are just so unlikable. I just can't stand them. You know,
one Volkanovski back.
That was when we were on the proper timeline. That was when we were still on it. You know, I don't know which Marvel or DC character to blame for all this, but I'm starting to point fingers. God damn it.
Barry Miles.
I blame Tony Ferguson. If he didn't double weight cut back in 2020 to fight Justin Gaethje, everything would probably be okay.
Yeah,
was that the turning point?
Yeah,
that was one of them. That was one of the huge ones.
When the fight fell through the first time with him and Gaethje, this nigga on TV said, "I still cut weight. I still made weight. Champ shit only." And then they already had the fight rescheduled for like another month in advance. They were like, "Hey, we already rescheduled the fight. We'll fight next month." Nigga still cut all that weight. Then he had to cut the weight again. And it's just like, dude, what the fuck?
You know, I have a similar gripe about this year, kind of, which is just that my worst part of UFC this year has been kind of like as a whole, Anthony Smith as a whole has just been one of my least favorite things entirely. You know, I started this year when he was fighting this year. I was like, hey, I learned this year that he's from Omaha, Nebraska, and I was like, Omaha, let's go. That's my guy now. Me and him, Anthony Smith. And then he just delusional sucking ass in UFC, and you're just like,
how the mighty have fallen.
And it's a similar Tony Ferguson situation where you're like, hey man, you know, all of us don't want to keep seeing you get your ass beat, but unlike Tony Ferguson, Anthony Smith was like, he got one lucky one, and he was like, I still got it.
Yeah, that's literally what happened this year.
Yeah, like, no, it was such a bummer.
I feel like they need to stop doing is having these fighters fight fighters who are on their way on retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how Anthony Smith got blown up so much, is because he fought like 3 fucking vets at middleweight and light heavyweight, and then it was like, oh my god, this guy is amazing. Like, no, he's literally killing old people.
Yep.
Okay? It's not that impressive. And the worst one being Rashad Evans. We hadn't seen Rashad fight at all for like a couple years before he moved to middleweight. And then he goes to middleweight and dies a couple times and then retires. It's just like, yeah, let's stop doing that.
Had to happen.
I wonder if there's like still some teenager out there that's getting into UFC right now that would care at all if you sat there and told them the fucking story of Rashad Evans and how fucking good he was when he came into the UFC. Knocks out Chuck Liddell. Whoops. Oopsie. Did I do that? Was that
the fact that he came in at heavyweight?
Heavyweight, head kicking people,
and then moved down to light heavyweight.
God, and that
John's a demon.
And I can't forget the turning point for all that, John Jones. Oh boy. Ian, you got anything for the worst part of UFC this year?
Why hasn't Clay Guida retired yet?
Seriously. I think
like
Chase Hoop might have retired, I'm to be honest.
I don't think he retired.
He didn't. He didn't put his gloves in.
I mean, not everybody puts their gloves in. We just get a tweet or something sometimes.
He took them off. And in his interview, he was like, I don't know, we'll see. And that I was like, yeah, he's going to do a couple more.
We'll see. We just saw, dude. We just saw.
Nigga, we were literally in elementary school when you were fighting. We're adults now.
Dude.
We got bills, nigga. Stop it.
I got a job to go to after like these fights after the weekend. You know that, motherfucker? It ain't that fun anymore to watch you. Can't stop, won't stop. Oh, dude, yeah. Wow, look at that. Least favorite thing about UFC overall for all three of us was a fighter, each one of us. Yeah, Clay Guida. I mean, and for me,
don't get me wrong, I love him.
Yeah, I'd say for me and you similarly, it's a lot of like just because it was like I wanted to see you retire this year. It seemed like this was the year for you to retire, both of you, and you just blew it. Same for you, Tony Ferguson. You just blew it. You just blew your chance to retire.
Soiled it.
Didn't Clay win his last fight before what's his name who he just fought?
Oh, buddy, I don't know actually. And it's like even if he did, it's like then he's him.
Oh no,
okay. When did he win his last fight?
He's gonna go to 3 losing.
Yeah, that's his 3rd loss. But...
Yep, he's gonna win 1 and then lose 3 and then win another one and then lose another 3. That's basically his consistency of the 2010s and 2020s. It's a whole nother decade of fighting.
And that's why, on a flip side of this, surprisingly, my standout fighter of the year, the guy who is the only guy out of these old motherfuckers who could still do it, Jim motherfucking Miller. He's my standout fighter of the year. All these young dudes. What about me? What about me? You're not Jim Miller. You're not Jim. You didn't beat Lyme's disease. I didn't see you do that. Okay. Jim Miller came in, got that sub victory. He's like, let's go. Let's keep going. Whoop, whoop. You're like, yeah, sure. Do what you want. You're the only guy who at your age is consistently winning and like losing every once in a while. And he lost a war his last fight. So it was like, yeah, dude, you got this shit.
Keep it up.
Any fighters stand out to you guys this year? There was a lot. There was a ton of like new fighters that I can't remember their names. I will say like what was it? Rafael Basil or Basil Hafez, I believe is his name. That was the guy that me and Ian were watching him.
Terrifying guy.
That terrifying motherfucker who did lose his next fight afterwards, but like that guy to me, like if I'm talking like legit, like a standout fighter that I found out about this year, that would be my guy.
Would be him.
You talking about the dude lightweight?
I think so. I'm about to Google him.
Because he has a brother that's at welterweight, I think.
I think this is the guy because I think I remember you talking about.
Because I think the one you're talking about, he's the one who just gave Terrence McKinney probably his worst knockout.
Yeah, Basil Hafez. Yeah, and that's the guy who just I think lost to Mickey Gall or beat Mickey Gall recently. But either way, yeah, he beat Mickey Gall. Yeah, because that's the fight where he was meanie and saw him, and he was every time like, let's go. And then he just got knocked out by Oban Elliott, but he was still charging forward. He was like he was walking and he falls to his knees.
Terrifying.
Shouts out Basil Hafez. That's my guy. All right, let's talk about. Let's get out of the UFC talk. We'll finish with one last thing, which is that what is anything at all that you guys want to see in UFC for 2025?
Dana not be a bitch and just have him versus his fighters versus PFL fighters. Just all champions versus champions.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Just like PFL did with Bellator before they fucking basically they merged and bought them.
Man, that would be so cool.
But Dana's always just like, I will never do that. And it's just like, why not? Why not? I don't think you scared everybody's gonna lose. What's going on? You being a bitch?
Like an independent event between the two companies, like that could work.
The parallels between Dana and Vince are incredible. Like they have the same idea for like this monopoly that nobody fucking wants except them. Like all of us are like, yeah, wow, we see how horrible the product is.
These other guys are doing.
Yeah, and like we see how horrible the product is that you're making because of that ideal. Where like that's something that WWE suffered from when AEW did start up. Because it was still Vince. Everybody hated the Vince product. And then they were like, man, these guys over in AEW are they're having fun over here.
They're working with everybody.
Yeah.
And they're making money?
Yeah. Genuinely, if it wasn't for AEW, and that's the credit I do give them, like I would not be really like familiar with like Ring of Honor or like a lot of these indie shows that like I'm now more aware of. Like I think AEW has like now WWE does great for indie market and like other promotions because it's Triple H and not Vince. But, before that, it's like AEW put all these motherfuckers on an American map where it was like, you'd have wrestling fans be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch the New Japan show. He'd be like, New Japan? The fuck you talk about New Japan? And they'd be like, yeah, it's from AEW. They're doing a thing with New Japan. And you're like, okay, sure. And like Dana suffers from that. He thinks that all of that shit that they could do with anybody is like a hindrance on their company. And I'm like, dude, it's all anybody's asking for.
I don't understand like what the big deal would be. It's still going to be like, because most people who watch PFL, they also watch UFC.
Yeah.
So it's like it's all the same fans. And if not, you could get even more just because based on the hype of like, oh, UFC is taking on insert other company. Like that's going to catch everybody.
Yeah.
It's going to be more interesting than just, oh, these two UFC fighters or these two PFL fighters.
Right. Yep. He's afraid. He's afraid of change.
Coward.
Dana White, leave me alone.
All that power, and what do you do? Nothing.
Nothing. Stop. No.
I don't know. This is the thing.
It is.
I don't want a joint event.
I don't want to.
Money.
I don't want to bring Ngannou back.
Scary.
Actually, yeah, that would be how they even get that going again. Is because he's at PFL.
Yeah. I just,
That shit's goofy looking.
Do you hate money? Do you hate money? Crazy. I wish TKO would step in and slap the shit out of him. I wish they would. They'd be like, "This is for your wife." Bam. Well, like, but not with, and then they go, but not like to your wife. That's like, that's from us to you from your wife.
Yeah, don't return. Don't give it to her.
Yeah, don't give it to her.
No, you want to.
We ain't forget about that shit,
dude. And I gotta just and. Makes me so angry every time I think about Dana White, because then after all that shit talk, I go, oh, that's right. That motherfucker is in love with Slap Series. That's all he gives a fuck about anymore. That's how dumb Dana White is.
Because he
like,
knows
well, I've been
how
doing this
much.
with my wife long enough. It's pretty fun. I think other people would watch other people slap each other.
He knows how much money he's losing on it, so he constantly has to promote it.
Oh yeah. Get any possible streamer, any possible shithead to come in there and stream on Kick or whatever they can do. I'm like, if it's so good, then why doesn't Trump go to the event? Why does he only go to your UFC events? Because nobody wants to watch Slap.
Because it's way too close knit in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
They use the performance center.
Mm.
They're not the performance center, but the what do you call that shit?
Apex Center.
Yeah, they use the Apex for those events. There's no way. He knows that there's no way to sell a whole fucking arena for some motherfuckers slapping each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would look crazy in there.
I mean, maybe if you got like two big UFC fighters to do it, but I don't know.
That'd be terrifying.
Right?
People who know how to punch, now they're open hand slapping each other. That's some real brain damage happening. Every fucking whoever goes first is winning pretty much.
Right.
Because you're not protecting yourself. You just stand there and take the hit.
Didn't Braun Strowman do Slap for like an event? I feel like I've seen Braun do arm wrestling.
He did. Yeah, he did the arm wrestling shit.
Okay. I feel like that'd be scary to see Braun Strowman, and he'd probably take over the whole fucking.
His hand would cover most people's heads.
Any UFC fighter in that slap competition, and I was a part of it, I would be like, I quit. It's crazy.
I would say I think what I want for UFC in 2025 is something that none of us will ever get, but it's still a possibility of just more. Again, if we can't get the collabs, then just more different types of martial art events with your UFC fighters, with your guys. Hey, is this guy only going to fight 2 times a year, but you don't have anybody that he can fight in a UFC fight this year? Make his second fight your UFC jiu-jitsu matches or your UFC fucking kickboxing matches or whatever the fuck you can make, because people would watch that. If you told me that, oh, Basil Hafez doesn't have an opponent in UFC this year, so we put him in our Muay Thai matches or whatever the fuck, boxing, I would be like, wow, I'd watch that.
I would say yes, but then everybody would be like, oh, you're just trying to be ONE FC now. Good job. You're late to that party by like 10 years.
but but they could do it better, right? They like with the type of production and money, they could do it better.
I doubt it because a lot of their shit is a lot of those people live in that corner of the world where they don't have to spend as much money traveling and shit.
Right.
Versus having to come over here to America, you got visa issues that pop up, the time zone thing, but that's also like that's on both sides. Like either you're going from Europe to Asia or Asia to Europe or some shit. And also Dana's a dick.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say I was just about to be like, well, we will never give up Dana White Contender Series. That's got to stay forever. That fucking show that does great for everyone. I mean, sure, we found Bo Nickel from it, but like Bo Nickel almost didn't even get picked on that shit. He had to fucking come back like 3 weeks in a row or something like that, or 3 events in a row before he finally got picked.
I think he got to get 3 dubs, and it was funny because that was the one time Dana was like, "I don't want anybody thinking I'm playing favorites or anything." And it's like, shut up,
dude.
Stop wasting that man time. He only fights once a year.
For real, I would love to see it. I think everybody would love to see a different, like I said, just different martial arts promoted by UFC, thus giving guys more chances. But and especially due to like it fucking sucks. A dude who's got like 3 fights on his contract and he's taken multiple knockouts. I mean, wouldn't you like to protect that guy a little bit more and give him a fight in like a fucking grappling match, so that way he doesn't have to take a third fight where he fucking gets beat up more in his fucking head? Like, I don't know. I know, like I said, I think my one is super far. I don't think that it'd be years down the road.
UFC had a grappling tournament.
They do. They just do it every once in a while. Like they don't do it very regularly. It's the UFC Invitational, I think is what they call it, but they don't promote it, and they put it on Fight Pass if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and like the only people on Fight Pass at this point are like the true diehards that will fucking name shit before UFC was ever a thing.
Yeah, right.
Like nobody has I don't know why they never like liquidated Fight Pass into ESPN Plus.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like it'd be way more worth it if that was the case.
Also, Fight Pass it's atrocious to operate. I don't think they've really updated that since it first came out. Like they've obviously done some updates for it, but I mean it is a bad site to fucking maneuver through.
I mean, their regular website's pretty glitchy and terrible. So
it's these things that Dana just don't give a fuck about. I think he pays people on those teams to just keep it running. Either just keep it going, we'll take care of the rest. And I'm like, well, you're failing because your product is oversaturated. Your product is bad. You're desperate for big events that you are just throwing together at all times. I mean, just like take a breather, listen to the people. And you'll never do that.
Well, have a cigarette.
Have a cigarette.
Calm down.
Get him a cigarette. I forget. Barney, get him a cigarette. Who the fuck is Barney?
Who's
Barney's
Barney?
going to tip me off about Pepe Sylvia.
Oh, shit.
So let's move over out of fighting. Let's get out of there. Stop talking about Dana White. Stop talking about all that. And let's get into some games. Let's get into some video games. Big year for video games this year. A lot of crazy stuff happened. Nintendo fucking did the lawsuit of a century. The most pettiest lawsuit of all time.
Fucking up video games.
Concord set the record for like just the worst release of all time. So I cannot recall the last time I've seen a game recalled within the first month of its release.
What's probably the worst about it is it just happened for no reason. Like there was no real.
That?
No, it's not even that. It was whoever started talking shit first about it. It was like I didn't even know about the game. I think I probably knew about it, but just it was already gone out of my mind. Just like I don't want another game like this. It was to me. Hearing that there was a lot of old Bungie devs, like specifically from Destiny, devs that were on that game, I was like, nah. And then seeing the gameplay, I was like, oh, this is straight up Destiny 1. Like, you got the fucking one chick who's like a warlock who has the crossbow. Her movement, the air dash, I think she can heal herself too. I was like, okay, that's warlock. The monkey has the fucking gunslinger, I think. It was literally the gunslinger from Destiny. Golden gun. Throwing knives. I think the same dodge too. I was like, yo, I'm not playing this shit. And then the next thing I see on Twitter is just niggas just getting beefed on. It was bad. To the point where somebody was paying the dev a compliment, and then he called him like a fucking basement dwelling gremlin, and it was just like he was complimenting you. Yeah. What the fuck was that about, man?
I remember seeing that. I was like, oh no, they're killing their own game too. It's all falling apart.
So fast.
Yeah, it was interesting when that happened.
I
remember talking about some guy that came into the store, and it was after the recall happened. Some young guy, and he came in, and he was like, he was frantic in the way that like he was on a mission, and he was like, "Do you guys have Concord for the PS5?" And I was about to be like, "They recalled it," and he was like, he goes, "I'm aware they recalled the game. Do you have any copies left?"
That's why he's buying it.
Yep,
because he knows.
Yep. And I was like, "Dude, no, I'm so sorry." And he was bummed. He wasn't mad. He was just bummed. And that was like, I had to ask him. I was like, "Can I ask why you want it? Because aren't they shutting down the servers for it?" And he was like, "It's a recalled game. It'll sell for like down the road. I could sell that for a lot of money. This is like a relic now." And I was like, "True, true. People will buy it simply for the fact of collecting and the story and the history."
When gaming was at its darkest.
Yeah, for sure.
Or wokest.
What's crazy is they have an episode for Secret Level that was supposed to turn into like one of the maps for the game, and now that's just never happening.
Damn, Daniel.
I never really looked at these characters. They're terrible looking.
Yeah, they look like shit. And then that was the other thing that got them in trouble is they were like, "We don't want to make traditional looking characters," and it's like, well, okay, you fucked up.
Well, that was a bad move.
What the fuck do you want?
Yeah.
It's what the people are going to gravitate to, bro.
Yeah, but they could have done not normal looking way better.
Yeah.
Like, this is a complete mess. There's two characters that look slightly okay. It's the guy with the red face and that chick with the big green armor.
Yeah.
They're like the only two decent looking ones.
There's a line that gets drawn where like a lot of these devs get stuck into the hole. We want to make a game that we want to play and hope the audience wants to do it too. And I'm like, sometimes it's not about that. Sometimes it's a little bit about that, and you should have that spirit when making a game.
Oh, yep. Their Concord episode is out on Secret Level.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
That's funny. Just for no reason, then it's just out. Just to
it's just there because the game was already like, I think Secret Level got announced before the game did, and then the game, I think Secret Level got announced at like the Game Awards last year, and then they showed off like everything that was gonna be there. So like it was already a thing. Like everything was set. Fucking 10 years of production, fucking millions of dollars gone in a month. Good job, guys. I'll never work in this fucking industry again. We're all shit.
Ugh, what a fucking crash. So we mentioned some things that's happened this year in gaming. We definitely had a lot to say about Concord, but who doesn't? So let's talk about, the big thing every year for gaming is what? Game of the year, so they say. And, as we all know, AstroBot somehow took that. So let's start with that. Actually, before we even get to our game of the year, I want to know what Darnell, go ahead. Go off.
Nah, y'all niggas need to relax with the somehow it won. It's like, bro, just watching the gameplay, I was like, oh shit, I need to get this when I get the PS5 again.
I'm a big fan of AstroBot.
I haven't bought it yet because I'm buying other shit because I'm dumb. But that is definitely a game that's on top of the list to play because we don't have fun platformers like that anymore. Yeah, the motherfuckers are like, oh, we got Mario. Nigga, we tired of that nigga. He does the same shit just about every goddamn year. It's a little annoying. It's either a brand new game or it's a remake of some other old game that you can't get a hold of anymore.
Right.
Like, fuck Nintendo. They can eat a bag of baby dicks. Straight up. Yeah, and then on top of that, it's not just platforming. Like, it's shit that, like, they used all their shit for once. Like, it wasn't just, we're just gonna have, like, because there were other AstroBot games before this, and you don't really hear about them. It's just like, oh, cool, Astro Boy, whatever, cool. It was like one of the first games you usually get.
Right.
And then this game, they were just like, hey, remember all those franchises we kind of, forget about all the time? We don't just make any games for them anymore. Here's all of them. Have fun.
All of these
and then they walked away.
That we shelf for no reason.
Yep. They just walked away from it. And then they're like, hey, just throw that in there. Let's have fun.
It's interesting because like I've been heavy advocate
And
on.
you know what? No,
And another thing. Let me tell you something else, Joe. I got one more. I've been heavy on AstroBot, and the same. Like that was like the driving force for me wanting to get the PS5 when I was originally talking about getting it. It was solely because I wanted to play AstroBot, and when I Googled it, they had said we have no plans currently for an AstroBot port to PC, probably somewhere in the future, but as of right now, they're keeping it like this is just our exclusive, and it might stay that way. As it probably honestly should, because they should stop putting everything over to PC if they want to kind of keep a little console superiority over things, but otherwise I prefer it if they port it. That'd be great. But I know when it happened, a lot of people Penguins was one of the driving forces of people who was angry about this. And angry is a loose term because obviously that man is very rarely ever angry at anything. He'll be like, I'm actually very angry today. I'm like, really? I couldn't tell because you seem like you are every single day.
Upset.
This really drove me up a wall.
With rage.
Yeah. This goober, and you're like, it doesn't see. And then you say goober, and then it doesn't really sound like you're upset.
And the whole seething rage thing kind of goes away.
He was saying things like, game of the year to me, it's what drove the force of gaming that year, and what really went past the boundaries of what that is in their platform. I'm like, now that I think of it, that's what AstroBot did. They took platforming gaming and they were like, that shit's boring. Check out our platforming game. And then they did something really cool that pushed the boundaries of what platforming is currently, and they made it better than anything else. So that is a huge thing that would make you Game of the Year contender and winner.
Also, crazy thing. I don't know if a lot of these nerds who are angry about it, I don't know if they know that these things exist anymore. Colors. I don't think they knew about colors anymore.
I know,
and that's what that game had plenty of. Nothing. It wasn't dreary and gray and brown and black, looking like shit. Talking to you, Elden Ring. Double fuck you. Still haven't played you because you have little hand spiders. I got arachnophobia. Suck my dick.
Gotta have the anti-arachnophobia.
Yeah. No, bro, those things are fucking creepy. Because I was for sure gonna get the game when they first came out, and so I seen a clip of someone's like, "Oh, what's that? Giant hand spider," and then it just slumps you, and then it's just a bunch of this going on, and I was just like, "Nah,
that's all right.
I'm good."
Pass.
I'll eventually stop being a bitch.
But I do like the point you make though, because it's like it's true. They're like, wow, look how and the games are beautiful in retrospective graphics, but it's like, yeah, it's another dark, dreary areas that I can't see shit. I can't see nothing. You best believe I'm one of those guys where it's like, set the brightness to where you can I'm like, up. Shut the fuck up. Stop talking to me. Put the brightness up. I can't see.
I'm not 16 anymore, man.
Yeah,
my eyes aren't that good.
100%. So yeah, I agree. Like games like that, it's what makes them that much fun. Like when I'm playing Spider-Man, I'm genuinely not having the greatest time when I'm swinging through the city at night. It's all rainy and dark. I'm like, give me the daylight. Give me see that sunshine. I don't want to see everything. Let's go. Very fun. All right, so then let's talk about, since we talked about that, what is your guys' pick for Game of the Year 2024? Not the contenders that they gave, but I mean, obviously you can pick from that, but what would your pick be? Again, DLCs included.
What I think should have been was probably like Warhammer, but wasn't that one on the list?
I don't think they did make the list, actually. I don't know that Warhammer made that. They probably should have. And I still haven't played the new Warhammer game. I want to so badly, but it seems like it should have been something that got Game of the Year.
That's what I assumed was going to get Game of the Year, especially because like how it blew up so quickly in popularity. Like,
yeah, definitely drove a lot of people into like Warhammer lore and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be your pick though. That'd be like.
Yeah, that's what I would assume. So
have
yeah,
you
that's
played
what
it.
But no, can't afford it.
Yeah, I know, right? But those games, I'm like, God damn you, motherfuckers, $70 and shit like that.
It's on sale right now for $45.
That's not bad. It is funny. A lot of parents, I get whether they just like haven't bought a AAA game in a long time or something. They'll come to the store and they'll be like, $70. God damn. I'm like, And I like to talk, what sounds like just math to them. I'll go, that's a AAA game. That's how they are this time of year, or that's how they are now. And you get more indie games, and it gets a little bit further down, and then they're like, "What are you saying?" I'm like,
"What? Back in my day, these were $20." Did you see that GTA 6? They're planning on charging $100 for the base game.
That can't be real. Is that real?
No, that was one of the fucking dudes who just is like the worst fucking consumerism person ever. Like, bro was trying to charge for everything and anything, and it was just like, dude, shut the fuck up. No one's gonna listen to you because they know how much money they're gonna lose if they ever do anything that nigga says.
That would be crazy. 100.
No. I thought that was a leaked thing.
The what?
I thought it was like a leaked thing that they were.
Oh no, that was just that dude just spouting a bunch of bullshit, bro.
Because
even I looked at that the first time. I was like, "There's no way in hell they do that. They would lose so much money. Like they can probably put it. Honestly, they can make GTA like free to play just because of the multiplayer aspect, and they will make pretty much the same amount of money they made through GTA 5 with shark cards.
Oh yeah,
that's the only reason we didn't get any more story shit in the single player model is because they were making too much money and they were just like, fuck that shit. And they pretty much just put it in the multiplayer. Like some of the shit that was supposed to be in the single player, they just threw in there. And it was just like, you assholes.
I wonder if there's a chance that GTA 6 flops. Like story wise.
If they make it woke.
I don't think that they're gonna do. I think that kind of like I think that they just
like Dustborn. Everybody thought that was going to be decent, and then it was like, oh, this is way crazy.
Well, like I think of it because Black Ops 6. I think the story is good. Probably, when I reinstall Black Ops 6, I'm like, whoa. When I reinstall Black Ops 6, I didn't install the campaign because I was playing through it, and I was like, you know what? I don't know if it's just bad or if I just don't care anymore, and
you don't care, and they've changed the mission structure. It's no longer what we grew up on, which was like pretty linear.
Yeah.
And it was just straightforward. This shit, you got options to do stuff, different ways to go about stuff. Because I struggled with that with the MW2 and 3 campaign. I was just like, yo, I can't do this.
Yeah, I don't think I think I've said this before. Not everything has to be open world. Like,
yeah, no.
I'm a huge fan of linear. I'll say it to Reese when I'm playing a game. I'll be like, I'll be happy. I'll be smiling. I'll be like, I'm having so much fun. I just keep going forward. You know what? I should say a contender that would be like a game of the year for me would be a game that came out on Game Pass. Evil West came out around Easter time. It went straight to Game Pass, I think, and extremely fun. Had so much fun playing that game. Linear all the way through. And there wasn't a lot of like, oh, well, you can go around here, and it's just simply saying open world. The second you turn a game out of nowhere into open world, I'm like, man, I don't have a lot of time. I'm playing a single player so that way I can kind of like get through a game and like get through a story so that I can just have fun and experience.
Done, nigga.
Yeah,
we ain't got time for that,
right? And also, I'm not trying to have it take up most of my gaming time. Like I'm still grinding on the other multiplayer games. It's like. But I just want to take a little break. And they're like, well, while you're taking a break, time to invest in some chores. Go collect. And I'm like, no. Let me beat stuff up and kill stuff and level myself up and become super strong and fight a final boss.
Like one direction.
Yeah.
I just want to move forward. I have to go back to Whiterun one more fucking time.
The best games are ones that are semi-linear, where like semi-open world, because it's just a perfect split. Because the one reason the Tomb Raider games, like the newer ones that came out, that's what those were. They were semi-open world. Like there was like one thing to do, like where you were supposed to go, but then you find out, oh, there's a weapon part or something over here. There's this other item over here. Like you can go do that if you want to.
Yeah.
But it's not like they're not forcing you to go do it. Like it was just like, hey, by the way, if you want to go do that. If not, main story's right there, bro. Just go left.
The Jedi games, the Fallen Order and Survivor, they both are really good at that, where they're like, you can go around and collect stuff and do extra missions if you want. It does give you other cool things, but if you don't want to, Right, just head.
Don't worry about it.
Go right over there. You can keep going. You can go through the whole story without. You'll be fine. Yeah, yeah. That's the key to success. There's a lot of keys that people just fuck around and find out on. So Ian's given his game of the year. Darnell, what would you pick?
Unfortunately, mine is still Cyberpunk. Because
That's
these
fair.
motherfuckers still keep adding shit to the game because they said, oh, big 2.0 with Liberty, fucking Phantom Liberty comes out. After that, we're not doing anything. It's been a year. Why do we have an update 3 weeks ago?
Like,
Can we stop, please?
I don't know.
Damn, I haven't even finished everything in the game once. I mean, I have once, and it made me depressed, so I stopped playing the game again.
Right.
But yeah, like even right now, I started a character when I was gonna start streaming again. I think in November, and then I think it was over. Oh no, that was this week, like Monday or Tuesday. I started another new character because I was like, I don't like how this one's going. But now what I'm doing now, I'm like, okay, this is fun. I'm having fun again. And this, I'm gonna try my fucking hardest for this to be the last character I make. And I'm gonna try to do everything in it. Because you only get one like stat reset in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm doing it right now just on based on what was given like after the because there's an option to skip to level 15, like so you can go straight to the DLC if you want to.
Right.
Because that first act, if once you've played it like fucking 5 times, you're tired of it. You don't want to do it anymore. It like kind of skips the whole first act. So you can just go straight to the DLC. But I still level up the same way I usually do, doing all the little side missions and shit before I go start doing stuff to like level up.
Should,
and
go ahead.
uh,
I was say you should record that too, like as well, like for like YouTube.
Yeah, I probably should have. Damn. Because I started the DLC literally before this. Before we started this. So like I was like in the middle of doing that shit. Because even the beginning of the fucking DLC is nuts. You got to go save the president. This bitch crashed her plane, and you just got to go kill a bunch of people, and then you fight this giant mech. That's not fun, by the way. Like absolutely not fun to do. And you kind of do it again at the end, but they turn it. This game turns into from a like kind of action RPG shooter to a straight fucking horror game. If you go down this one path of the ending,
right?
It's fucking bad. Like it was so bad to the point where I had to open the door. I had to turn the light on. I even opened the balcony door to let more air in because the fucking PC is just blowing so much hot air playing that game.
Jesus.
I was like, bruh, I can't deal with this right now. I might have a nosebleed. It's bad.
Jesus.
Because they have like the best jump scares for that section of the game. Because it's like a bunch of the times where you think, oh, I'm sick. Nope. You get to watch yourself get a rod just straight through the fucking chest. And I had to watch that like at least 10 times because, and the worst part.
Should be desensitized now.
No, it wasn't. It's bad. No, there's one part of it that's really fucking scary. Like they straight up pulled some horror movie shit. You have to run down this hallway. Like it's a really long hallway too. You get like, and this thing, you hear it just tearing shit up behind you, trying to get to you. And then eventually you get to the door jams. So now you got a button mash to get it open. You still hear this motherfucker just tearing everything up in the hallway. And when you get it open is when you just like, you fall through the door and this thing is like that already, just ready to fuck your shit up.
Yeah.
But then the door closes. And I had paused the game and had to go walk outside. I was like, I got to take a walk for this. That was terrifying.
Let me take a break, come back to reality real quick and fucking.
Yeah,
I
love that. I love this game so much though. Like, and it's so funny. Everybody in 2020, I will always laugh at people who bought it on PS4 because I'm like, why would you do that? This game was already too big to begin with. Why would you play it on there? I at least waited till because I think I had my PS5 by then. Oh yeah, I did because I got PS5 in like April of 2020, and then that came out in December. So I waited. I had it on PS5, and I'm like, it crashes every now and then, but it's not crazy. Because the majority of the people, like the videos that were out, are all people on PS4 and Xbox One X. And it's like,
right.
It's still crazy that it can crash on a PS5.
Yeah, and like it wasn't super often because I think the only times it would crash like straight up
High
if you
graphics
were
and shit.
if you were driving too fast because it's not loading
Oh.
everything in fast enough, so it would just shut down pretty much.
I could see that.
And then I had it happen a couple times on PC, but I think that was just me doing a lot of bullshit. Like I was doing a lot of shit I shouldn't have been doing.
Wasn't that time you were
With a
like modding
3060.
and stuff like that?
Oh hell no, I did not mod this game.
Oh, okay.
There's no like the only mods in the game really like that have been made are like mostly cosmetic shit.
Right.
So it's like people adding clothes, hair, and shit. But then you have like the Sandevistan from the anime where like time completely stops and you can just do a bunch of shit to people. But it's like it's not all that much worth modding. And people put like modern cars in the game. That's about it.
True.
I
Like,
was gonna say, like, it's probably just cosmetic.
yeah.
I mean, there wouldn't be much like quality of life things.
I mean, there's like actually what's funny is a lot of the shit that there was kind of quality of life shit people were making, they ended up just patching into the game.
That works.
They were just like, oh cool. Yeah, we're gonna put that in there.
They're like, oh, you guys feel that strongly about it? Okay, it's in the game now.
And they just left it at that. And I was like, oh cool, you guys are cool.
You know, it's funny. I was gonna say that my game of the year choice, and it would sound so casual to say, what was gonna be Black Ops 6, just because I think that Black Ops 6 is genuinely and actually really strong turning point for Call of Duty, even if it's just for this series itself and not for the other one. It's the most recent Call of Duty that I've played where I was like, this actually still keeps me playing the game. Like on a
Where
day
the multiplayer isn't actual trash.
yeah, and it, you know, for anybody who's gonna be like, it's got this wrong, I'm like, absolutely. Like I couldn't disagree with you more that it has things wrong with it, just like every other game that I play. So it you know, I like it. I like the map. I love the maps of the game. I love the gun choices. The balance is not really all that there, but it's there's an attempt at least, and I really appreciated the Christmas event this year. I had a lot of fun, but it ended up not being my game of the year because the entire time I kept telling everybody, I'm like, I'm just looking forward to Marvel Rivals. I just want Marvel Rivals to come out, and that's gonna be the game that's gonna be my game, and it's my game of the year. I think that they've revived that format, the Overwatch Team Fortress format,
Hero shooter.
yeah. And it's only going to get better because everybody knows Marvel. Everybody loves Marvel. And the game plays well for even if you don't know Marvel. You don't have to. You could be like, oh, I kind of know who Iron Man is, I guess. And then you could play other characters and just play like a game that's like Overwatch and everything. So for how angry the game makes me sometimes, and for how completely unbalanced it is, and it has zero true skill matchmaking or anything like that, it would be my choice for game of the year, just simply for the fact of like, it's fun. At the core of it, it's fun, and you can tell that the devs want everybody else to have fun, and so much so that they are logically making decisions, hinting at the Q selection thing, the Q roll, where they're like, I know that's what you get. It's the WoW. It's back in the WoW days. You think you do, but you don't. You think you won't roll Q, but you don't, and that's great.
Oh.
Hell yeah!
Welcome to the podcast.
This is the one time he didn't ask me first too. That's funny. Because usually he messaged me like, "Yo, y'all doing the podcast?"
He said,
Heavens. He's like, that's what you all look like. I'm out of here.
I mean, so I had here to go over, our picks for worst game of the year, but are we just picking Concord, or do you guys have other picks for that?
I mean, Concord it's hands down. It's got to be the worst game of the year.
I mean, I'm picking WWE 2K24 as somebody who purchased it, had somebody purchase things for me through bets on the game, and played it religiously. That's hands down the worst game of 2024. I'd rather play Concord.
Really?
Yeah. They're scum. It's made by 2K. They're scumlord, fucking money grubby pieces of shit who don't give a fuck about anything that anybody wants. All they give a fuck about is putting mediocre fucking goddamn mechanics into a game pumped with fucking Unreal Engine that they barely fucking use, and they fucking they're just pieces of shit who just make shit product over and over again. And the NBA 2K crowd would back me on this. They wouldn't even fucking look at the WWE 2K game and know that I'm spitting truth, because they know that every year they get the same spit in the face, and they trust them to make a game for something that they love and they have no alternative for, because there is no other company that makes an NBA game anymore, because EA doesn't do that anymore. And there is no other company that makes wrestling WWE games anymore, because 2K took over. And all you can do is sit there and play that game over and over again and do the bullshit convoluted things, which is just them making you spend money on their game. It's disgusting, and I hate them, and they're the worst games ever made.
Will they make you like purchase DLC for shit?
Coins and coins. For things that should just be in the game, different types of, or that you should just earn for playing the game, like different different gear that wrestlers will wear, legendary gear, like special event stuff. They also like to do things in the game where, you know, like you'll be like, hey, you can win this extremely awesome rare, let's just say Bray Wyatt card. Fuck it. And it gives you like a purple amethyst Bray Wyatt card, and and they'll be like, cool. So how do I do that? They'll be like, you just need to win 5 matches with a bronze card. And they find ways to like literally make you just grind and play things over and over and over and over again that are like genuinely impossible. And they go, that's fine. You don't have to do that. You can alternatively spend money on the coins. And then there's a fun thing where it's like, once I've beat the regular version of the game and I've beaten all the little extras, what can I do? They're like, that's the fun part. Just like with the rest of the 2K games and even Madden, they're like, you just play our little team builder game, our my team, our my whatever. It's like my rise or whatever in this one. And all you can do is try to do these challenges or spend money for the extremely expensive card packs where they go, don't worry, you can play in-game and win the currency in-game. Oh, cool. How much currency will I get? Well, you just did a match and some challenges, so I'll give you about 250. And you go, wow, that's a lot. How much are the packs worth? And they go, 17,000 for the minimum pack. And you're like, coins? And they're like, yes. So I would have to play multiple hours and hours of matches. And they go, no, you can just spend the money. And I should spit in their face already because they're disgusting. And they are the worst games of the year. NBA 2K25 and WWE 2K24. Worst.
Suicide Squad.
Fuck Suicide Squad. God damn it. But didn't Suicide Squad come out in 2023? Or was that
No, that came out this year.
Damn,
that's just how fast it fucking died.
Damn.
I think it came out in like March
Arkham Knights.
and April.
Yeah. Yeah, Suicide Squad, which should be worst game of the year.
Yeah, that actually, yeah, that is that game's so bad. They put the most expensive version of the game on sale for $4.99.
Mm-hmm.
And I still said I need it lower.
Yep.
I need that bitch to be free. They ain't paying no money for it.
No.
Oh,
yeah.
no. Free. Like no money. I want to go on Epic Games or wherever, and it just says download. I'm like, oh, cool.
Bet.
All right.
It's $3.49 right now.
Yeah, for the base. I think for the base version.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Lower.
I saw that too, and I said the same thing. I was like, wow, $3? Nope. Pass.
Oh, the free content update. Ooh.
Ugh.
Is that how you guys are getting it in? Who makes the game?
Fucking
Rocksteady Studio.
We all knew something was wrong before that game came out with Arkham Knights. The dudes who ran the company, they were like, we're out. We're making our own studio. Fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I was like, oh, yeah, this is done. They're making them do shit they don't want to do. They're putting out a bullshit game. They want no part of it.
Unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gaming is at a certain dark time right now with spots and pockets of light that come out.
Arkham VR. That seemed pretty cool. That's a little packet of something.
People have come into the store and bought the fucking new VR specifically because it comes with Arkham Knight's VR game, and they'll go, yeah, I want to play that. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
I mean, it's new. Isn't it basically the first Arkham game, but VR?
I don't know. The second they said it was VR, I didn't care.
Sounded cool.
Well, you're a Batman fan, so it sounds extremely cool. Yeah, that would be it then. You heard it here first. Our picks for games of the year, worst games of the year, and that wraps up our last episode of the year. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for just hanging out,
Liking, commenting, subscribing.
Exactly.
Sorry.
And
Clicking that bell.
boom.
Yeah, see?
That's right.
Almost
Gotta
missed it.
click that bell. And we hope that all these things come true, just like your wishes in the next year, and that we all have some fun watching the fights and playing the new games that will come out in 2025. Best of luck to you. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. What happened to peace? Peace.
Welcome to Throwing Hands.
You know, you're playing touch butt with that dork in the park, the ponytail.
My balls was hot.